If you're a web developer, then this video is going to change the way you think about your job. A couple months ago, I posted a poll where I shared the results of Koi, a viewer of our channel who made over $36,000 within just 2 weeks of starting his business. And most of you wanted to know how he did it. But the main reason why I think his story is unique is because he is still a college student. And when he started, he had no business background, limited work experience, and had never built a production grade application. And since then, he has generated over $65,000 in revenue. He has no employees, no team, and is a one-man army. But the craziest part is he did this with just 4 clients. He never posted content, never ran paid ads, or sent a single cold DM to get these customers. They came to him. His system not only consistently attracts whale clients, but also gets them to say yes on the sales call. And if you're thinking he probably found a secret business model, let me correct you. The business Koi started was in a saturated market. It's a web development agency, but reframed so that no one can compete with him. And so today I've invited Koi to teach us exactly what he did to get 5-figure clients and most importantly, to get them to say yes.
My name is Koi. I'm currently a sophomore at Stanford University, and I'm studying computer science and specialize in AI. And what I'm doing right now is I have a coding agency.
Did you have a business in the past? Do you have any entrepreneurship experience? And that's why you think, that's the reason why you succeeded?
I didn't have any entrepreneurship experience, so I started the company in April, and that was my first ever company, my first ever entrepreneurship kind of like experience. And before that, I'm just a student. I have internships. I work for startups. I'm like a normal person working for like a startups, right? And then later on, I decided to start my own company.
So, what about your business? Because everybody has a web development agency. What about your business helps you uniquely sell your service?
Yeah. So right now, my main offer would just be like I will build really fast MVP, and we use AI. We leverage Cloud Code and Cursor to build a really fast MVP for them. And on top of that, I also focus on the business side of the app as well. So, for example, I focus on the growth of the app and taking care of like growing and getting the users. For example, I help with like paid ads, UGC content, all of the growth strategies to help my clients to get actual users onto the app and focus on the growth.
How exactly are you using AI in your agency to build these apps so fast?
Yeah, so mainly what I do is I whip out really fast prototype and send it to my clients. So I just like the first one be like prototyping it, send it to clients, and they say like okay, they approve it, whatever. I finish the prototype and I come back and I make it a more professional. So I just like connect to the backend and make it a full fledged app. So I don't really vibe code it. I also have like the thing is like you need to have your own unfair advantage. You need to have like your expertise, right? Like if you just vibe coding like everyone else, it's really hard to make money nowadays because everyone knows how to vibe code. So I think for me, it's like I know how to code before the AI, everything. I've been coding since high school. I joined hackathons, and that's like kind of my whole thing, right? So I know how to code before AI. So then like I can vibe code with AI, but then I know like what to fix, what to like UI, like how it should look like, and everything that's not the AI cannot really do, or you can put in your own creative side on it and not fully rely on AI. However, what I found is like when I took your course in school, right? It's like when you teach, I was watching it and see like AI is like so fast. It's like this is insane, you know. And I can just like often prototyping it like something that I can do. I just let it do, and then whatever it cannot do, I just like do it myself.
I believe that we have gotten to that point already where AI can now replace the developer, right? And in fact, even in our own company, it's part of the resume now. You need to have vibe coder. You need to have something AI related in your resume because it's very hard for us to hire someone who cannot use AI. I myself, in spite of having all these tasks, all these other things to look at, I could just vibe code and build the entire app. And it's crazy how good it is. So what I use is
Yeah.
I use Claude Code now. I used to use Cursor, but then Cursor, I don't exactly know what happened with Cursor, but the payment changed, all that kind of stuff. It's not more of the payment stuff because now I'm spending more on Claude Code. So it's not money. It's nothing to do with money. It's more about the quality. I feel like Cursor is still great, but Claude Code is just slightly better because it comes with Claude
Yeah.
Sonnet, right?
Yeah.
And also the window. I haven't hit the cap yet. Yeah. I don't know if it is the way I'm prompting or the way I'm helping it with context, but I haven't yet. Still, I haven't hit the cap, which is really cool. So
Mm.
I do believe we're already there. We're already there. Like it's just a matter of who is going to realize it and then take advantage of it and now code using AI and build apps for other people or build apps for yourself. Or you could just hire people who can build apps for you and also use AI on top of that, which is like a double leverage for you. So now you speed up the process. It's 2025, it's super saturated. Everyone is doing web development. And so how did you get the idea to start that or what made you think, yeah, I probably should start a web development agency in 2025?
Yeah, it's just mainly what kind of like what he said, right? Like talking to users. So I have friends who gone to YC who are trying to do a startup, and a lot of them are business people. Like they're really cool, like they're killer business people, but like they don't really have a technical co-founder, or they don't really have a technical like power to really develop the app. And the thing is that right now there's a ton of apps being out there, and especially when you vibe coded it it's like a ton of bugs and like like all of those like people who don't really have a solid computer science background, they will vibe coded everything up and then it's gonna break at some point and they're like it's like a burn, there's like a fire on their hair, right? It's like it's literally
Right, right.
burning. Like I need to find something right now. So just come in like, hey, I can help. So then like you just gotta get those. And then I see like really big market where the startups they have the money, they have venture backed, and I just come in and help them to build their startup and join the team.
Let's just take an average kid, right? So an average entrepreneur who just spun up their LinkedIn, optimized their LinkedIn profile, and then is waiting for leads, but they're not going to have these leads come through the door. And even if they do, they're going to lowball them. Maybe say $500, 1,000. You know how web
Yeah,
development goes. Yeah, no
yeah.
one's willing to pay 15,000, 10,000. What do you think you did differently? Something has to be different from what you did and then what that person's doing. Where do you think that difference is? What's up, everybody? Sorry to interrupt your learning, but if you like what Koi's doing and you want to do something just like him, or maybe you're a web developer, you want to start your own SaaS, but you have no guidance. Maybe you don't know how to find an idea, or maybe you don't know how to create an offer that can help you uniquely sell your service so nobody can compare your service to another business, or maybe you just need help transitioning from a 9 to 5 web developer to a SaaS entrepreneur. All the resources and the material that I've given Koi, as well as all of the clients I've worked with in the past, and all of the things I was just talking about is absolutely free on my website. You can go to my website, webprodigies.com/store right now, and you can enroll on all of these courses for free. I started this channel with one single goal in mind, which is to help web developers around the world quit their 9 to 5 jobs and start their own SaaS. And in order to do this, I need to equip you with all the skills and the knowledge you need so you can prepare for 2026. Because what is about to happen in 2026 is going to change the world forever. Just 10 years ago, SaaS used to be the most difficult business model, but because of the ongoing AI trend, almost every single person who has some experience in web development can build a SaaS. They're 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds making tens of millions of dollars every single month. And the only thing that's creating this gap between you and those entrepreneurs is the business knowledge, the marketing knowledge, and the AI knowledge. And if you know these three components, you are equipped with all the skills you need to start your SaaS in 2026. Because you, my friend, have the highest leverage skill in SaaS, which is to code. That used to be the biggest bottleneck 10 years ago when people wanted to start a SaaS. You needed hundreds and thousands of dollars because you need to put a team together in order to do this. But because you have the knowledge and the skill set to actually code, all you need is these three components, and you can essentially bridge that gap between where you are and where those people are. And so the best way for me to do this is to give you all this knowledge completely for free because quite frankly speaking, I don't think I can make any difference in your business if you can't even make $10,000 a month. All I'm asking in return is you share all of the courses and the knowledge to another web developer who is going through the same pain and is desperately in need of help like this. And then later on in the future, when you're hitting your goal and you're ready to scale, then I hope you remember me and remember how all of this started. And then maybe you can give me the honor to invest my time and energy into your SaaS business so you can scale to the moon. Now, with that being said, if you have already reached the goal of making $10,000 a month and you need some guidance and help, then feel free to reach out on my Instagram or my Twitter, and we'll make sure we can equip you with all of the skills or the mentors that you need who can essentially help you get to that next level. Now, if you like this type of content and you want to watch the next video where we're going to speak to a multi-seven-figure entrepreneur, then I highly recommend you hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so that when that video comes out, you can be the first person to watch it. Thank you so much for subscribing, and let's move on to the video now.
Yeah. So it's just more like a question of like, if you put your resume out there, like why is no one contacting me, right? Honestly, like if you have any good unfair advantages, for example, like any expertise you are in, like let's say you're a real estate person that you can build apps in the real estate niche, or you are in the healthcare, right? So then like anything that have the best unfair advantage for you, you also put it on there to make sure like you target the right audiences. When people search up Stanford students, right, there's like a ton of them. There's like about like 5,000-6,000 of them, right? That's a lot of them.
Right.
So
Right.
mainly I just have like I work with internships for startups. So because my main target audience is startups and not like big companies. So I
Okay.
do like I work for startups as an internship and I put it onto my profile, and I work for like a few projects like website here and there for like a
Okay.
pretty decently cheap prices to build up my
Right.
portfolio and say like, hey, I have this case study, and you can just have only 1 or 2 case study you work with.
Oh,
You can
okay.
present to your clients, and it's an
Right.
easier sell because like I already helped these guys. Then there's no reason I cannot help you, right? So just build up a few case studies if you're just starting out and just building it up. So the first few ones is okay if you work up for a little bit less than you wanted, but just make sure you build up that portfolio.
When you started, obviously you didn't have clients too, right? You just had your portfolio, which you said were a combination of some projects and some clients as well. But if you had nothing, how can someone start their own web development agency and get clients?
Mm. So I think you just gotta go back to kind of like how I started, like literally in the beginning, right? So in the beginning, it's really hard to get even into companies because my resume is really bad, anyways. So I just make my own projects, my personal projects. So I go onto YouTube, I search like a lot of like, for example, like web projects, like Parent here, right? So they have like a lot of like projects. You can just build it as a personal project. You put it onto your resume, and that should be good enough for you to get into like jobs or internships or those kind of things. Then you go into those internships, you get experience, you work with like a company with a name, and then you use that, and then you build up the portfolio to get a client who's like a freelancer. So you get kind of like building up, like going up steps by steps. So a freelancer, you're not like an employee, but you got a freelancer, a contractor. Then you can call them your client, and then from your client, you can just build up like 1 or 2 case study. Then you should be able to build up the portfolio.
What are you going to do from now to get more clients, or what's your current process for marketing?
Yeah. So I think that well, like Samosi said, right? Like if you found like a zombie spawn kind of like spot, and you can just like keep
Yeah.
slaying that like the exact
Yeah.
same spot, right? So for
Yeah.
me, what works really, really well is in person like events and networking. So for example, I'm gonna attend the Super Base Select event. So that it's gonna be like in YC. So I'm gonna travel there and go to that event and go talk to people in there because the people in there are in the dev kind of environments. They're building apps and they're entrepreneurs. So they hopefully should have money, right? So then like I just go to those kind of in-person events, and that's currently my strategy. And I just wanna keep doing it until it doesn't work anymore. But I just keep doing those events. And then I'm thinking of doing more about like LinkedIn, Twitter, like build a public more about that side on the digital side. However, I want to build more of my portfolio even more. So then the easiest way to get clients is just in-person events of where your target audience are hanging out. And
Mhm.
they should be paid because like if people are willing to pay those, I think I pay like $256 for that event, right? So that's kind of like they have the money to willing to invest into their own company. So yeah, I just keep doing in-person events, and my strategy later on is be like more Twitter because that's where it's all at, you know.
Do you believe that if you want to start a SaaS company, right, you should learn everything about coding? This November, we're hosting our first Prodigies Hotline. If you don't know what this is, a while ago I posted a poll asking if you would find it valuable to speak directly with me one on one and get your questions answered. And obviously, the poll blew up, and a lot of you thought this would be super valuable, especially because this is absolutely free. Typically, we only used to offer this to our high end clients. And so I want you to get the opportunity to get the same level of attention. If you want to be a part of the hotline and get your problems solved, there's going to be a link in the description. It's a form, it's going to be a little lengthy, and And the reason is because I need to know every single thing that's going on beforehand so I'm prepared for the call. That way we can save some time and I don't have to waste 30 minutes just asking you questions back to back. And I know exactly what's going wrong in your business or your current situation. Now, on this form, I want you to be as honest as possible and as brutal as possible and just tell me every single thing that's going wrong. And tell me in as much detail as you can as to what problem you are facing. And if you have some KPIs or some data that you would need us to read through, make sure you put those links in there as well. So that way we have all the context we need before the call. I wish someone gave me this attention when I was first starting. And so I know for a fact it's going to be super, super valuable. And on that link, I've also put every single question you could possibly have about the event. So you will know everything beforehand and you're clear as to where you're going to go to get the right link. Because people who are on the hotline are going to get a special link because they're going to have the ability to also interact with the chat. We can also pin you, voice chat, all that kind of fun stuff. So go ahead and fill in the form. Only those who are really facing a problem will get through to the other side. So you definitely have a chance to get selected. And if not, no worries. You can still attend that so you can ask questions and interact directly inside the chat itself. All right, that's pretty much it. And I will see you on our first Prodigies hotline.
Also, that's a very good question because, like, what I'm, like, honestly, I have a really kind of like a slightly different viewpoint because, like, you are like a 10x developer, right? You've been coding for a long time. You know how to code, and then now you have AI. You know how to leverage it? But for me, I'm more coming from like the point of like I'm still a little bit of like a beginner in coding before, right? I still like I know how to code, I know how to do things, but I'm still like not like super like a 10x developer. So then when I use AI, like for example, like in my internship, it's like kind of like honestly, I'm kind of like a mess, because the thing is like everyone in the team was like also vibe coders, and they don't really have good like solid computer science background like me, and then everyone in there. So like everything's like a hot mess. It's like everyone's just vibe coding, no one providing the context. They don't have documentation on there, and no one knows the endpoint of API, which is so funny. And then like they don't know about context, no one knows about anything. So it's really hard to vibe code there, right? So then it's more like I think you know how to code, you know everything, but from me coming from someone who kind of just learning how to code like for 1 or 2 years, during since high school, and I got to like vibe coding. It's like it's still pretty hard to for someone like with that experience to like vibe code it, to know what to provide context, and like know where to put it, right? 'Cause often most people I would imagine just like prompt Claude code and it doesn't work. Like you need to know where exactly what file it is and give it the context, and that requires some programming language. So I would
Mhm.
say vibe code. So what you try to do is that you vibe code, and whenever you see a bug, try to fix that bug like more like a traditional way. For example, like I never know Postman exists. I never know Swagger UI exists before. And those like
Okay.
insane dev tool before AI. Like and
Yeah,
then
you're
that
right.
is really helpful with AI, right? But I never know that. It's like, oh, I this endpoint doesn't work. Like, I don't know, ask AI to do it. Like, no, you shouldn't do that. You should use Postman, Swagger UI, all of those kind of tools before the AI era and use that as a context to prompt the AI. So then I just started to learn those, and those are like the biggest like unblock for me. So what you do is I think just like vibe code, but also like know like what are like the traditional tools that before use AI. Because like imagine coding with AI. Like how can you do that, right? They have tools to do it. So yeah, like debug those and try to learn how to debug like those. That's a very important process because sometimes AI just doesn't work and it's very frustrating.
Since April 3rd this year, I have not written a single line of code. It's all
That's
AI.
crazy, actually.
It's all AI. But
What?
the way AI is being used is different from how other people online market AI to you. So how they market AI to you is saying, here's how you create this massive prompt, right? With all the deliverables of your application, and then you put it into Claude or you put it into Cursor or you put it into some sort of AI prompting thing or whatever, right? And you expect that to build it from start to finish. This almost never works. At least we're not there yet, right? And so right now that doesn't work. And so what I do is I iterate feature by feature. And now people would be like, dude, you're spending the same, you're not spending the same amount of time. Okay. Even if you're vibe coding each feature, which is what I do, you are not spending the same amount of time than if you had coded that. My portal that I'm building right now is built from scratch using AI. I haven't even written a single line of code. I built the app in 14 days. If I had not used AI, I would have spent at least 3-4 months building just two of the features in my application. I've never had a time where Claude's like, oops, I don't know how to build this and I can't build it. It happens with Cursor sometimes, but With Claude, I've never faced that, never so far. It will always finish the feature no matter what, which is awesome, right? Because now I have the confidence that even if I don't know how to build something, I can because I got Claude. So, Koi, you've been building apps for these clients. Have you ever considered starting your own SaaS?
Yeah, so I actually am. So currently, I'm building a SaaS. It's called Omi Task. It's OMI Task, and the idea is I can take all of the productivity techniques, like for example, like books like Atomic Habits, Deep Work, and I can put it into one single app, so I can have the customized workflow. And I also have like an AI that can take all the context from like your email. Like I'm a student, so I can take my assignments, my syllabus, all of that into the app. So then you don't have to manually input the task anymore. And so what I did was I implemented the PU technique for like illusion funnel. And so what I did was I go talk to users first. So I presented my idea to the users and I got them excited all about it and put them to the wait list. And once I build up some traction, some demand on the app, and I start building the MVP. But the problem was like I got them to the wait list, but I talked to them by idea and they're like, oh, I'm super excited about it. So I literally started to build an MVP really fast right away. And my focus was the productivity techniques because I'm a productivity nerd, right? I watch Ali Abdal, those people. So I focus on those productivity techniques more than the AI part. And that's kind of like a wrong direction because I showed the MVP to the users and they were like they're using the AI system more than the productivity apps techniques, right? And then like, oh, then you talk to user when you give them the demo and you realize like you're kind of like building in a little bit wrong direction. It's like I kind of like grateful for the illusion funnel for like getting me all the people already to like give you the feedback, all of that. But like I would say maybe slow down a bit more because I'm like super passionate about this. So just
Right,
build it really fast. But I would say like,
right.
just slow down a little bit more and make sure you understand user to a very good extent to build what they want. And my MVP is a little bit wrong direction, but at least I got an MVP and not in full blown app, right?
Right, right. Oh,
So yeah,
obviously. Guys, that's the worst thing you can do in a business, which is build the entire app first and then go find the customer because you don't know what they want, right? Imagine you built a house for a specific avatar, or imagine you built this house for a celebrity and then you looked for that celebrity, you found some celebrities and like, hey, I built this house. And then when they come and look at the house, it's all nice, but it's not celebrity like. So you see
mm,
how the house is not built around the person you're trying to sell to. And so this is exactly why NPU or doesn't matter NPU or not. This is the sauce. You need to have the illusion funnel. That means you need to have a funnel so you can drive traffic. Sell the idea, sell the outcome first, drive traffic into your waitlist, drive traffic into the like sell the outputs. That's your goal. You're selling the output through the illusion funnel. And you don't have to accept money. If you're scared, you don't have an app, you don't have to accept money. Like whatever Koi did in the beginning is also right, right? He essentially got his friends through the door or get someone who you think will be using the app. Not just anyone, just someone who is your ideal customer. They will use the app and they will tell you, I don't like this feature, right? Like how Koi discovered that the app users wanted to use the AI features more than the stuff he actually thought was the most
yeah,
important part of his app, which is crazy. Imagine if he built out everything and then started promoting it, he would have been out another 3-4 months, right? And so this is why the feedback system is so important because you get the customer to tell you what they want and you build the product around the customer. Hey, what's up? If you use AI to code all of your SaaS applications, then you're going to need an agent right in between that can essentially review all this code and make sure everything is following the architectural plan. And so, what I typically do when I build apps using AI is I have a step by step architectural breakdown into an MD file. Now, the problem is when you use something like Claude Code, it's always focused on getting that specific task completed, and sometimes it wouldn't even look at the checklist. I'll leave the link to the AI agent in the description down below. This AI agent is called Code Rabbit, and you can install Code Rabbit on your GitHub, or you can even install it directly into your Visual Studio Code. Now, very recently, Code Rabbit released their new CLI plugin. Now, this is awesome because what you could do is you could ask Claude to build out a feature, and then when it's done as part of the SOP, ask Claude to run the CodeRabbit CLI command and do it in the background. So once a task is completed, CodeRabbit CLI will kick in and it will do everything behind the scenes in the background so Claude Code can still proceed. I think this is an awesome feature. So go ahead and use this command to install CodeRabbit CLI, or you can use the link in the description to open up your free account. And thank you so much to CodeRabbit for sponsoring this video. This video is made possible by amazing companies just like this. So thank you so much, and let's proceed to the video now. And I think everyone's waiting to know, how much did you make, man?
So I make 65K, and then I've already collected all the cash of that upfront.
I actually did not know this, guys. I thought it was 30K. Okay, so you made
Well, yeah.
65K. Now, even I'm curious to know what you did on top of that.
Yeah, so of course, man, I didn't really update you, but I already make some progress at getting more clients. But my first sale was 36K, and then I have 3 more clients, and one is like 10, 15, and then another 10.
What did you do as a service to get this $65,000?
So for the first sale, what I do is I develop the entire mobile app for them, and I also help with like any like consultation from the business side, like how to get users. So they are currently in the feedback kind of like beta phase where they go out and getting beta feedback from users, and they give it to me. I go hop on call with them, and then like talk through like what feedback, what to prioritize as a product, and then help them with like later on like with fundraising and all of that using the feedback that they received. So I do more like a full stack experience.
How did you find these people? How did they find you?
The first one was from LinkedIn. So I optimized my LinkedIn profile. So I have everything down. I say that my best unfair advantage is just being a Stanford student, right? So I put it up there. I put some posts on there. I optimized my LinkedIn, and then they found me and they DM me, and so we hop on a call. So that was my first ever sales call. And then later on for the next few clients, honestly, those are really big struggle for me because the first clients like, oh, it's all good and fun, right? But the next few ones are pretty hard. But like I found like one of the most underrated way to get leads is going to physical like in-person event, because you can just come up to those people who are in that your target audience. They have like a ton of money, business owners, and you can just introduce yourself, what you're doing, and you can at the end you can ask them like, hey, do you know anyone who needs like an app developed? And they can either say, oh, I actually do, or I know someone who like in
Got
that
it.
my network.
I'm more curious to know about what your sales process was. Like, how did you close the deal? How did you get the money? And so you said you got 6K up front. So how did you get all of this? How do you convince them to pay you such, a huge amount for an application that they could go somewhere else and probably get for $1,000?
Second thing is like make sure they have the money. So make sure the business people they're serious about it. So make sure you qualify the leads and have like discovery call to warming them up. And then for our next two call, I'd say like it's pretty hard because they're like cold. So that's why I changed my strategy to like in-person events, right? Like you kind of already warm it up. Like your discovery is literally you meeting that person. So it's already kind of warm. So then when you go into the sales call, I literally asked you parent the other day, right? Like when the person already knows you and like kind of it's already warm, you said like just close it, right? Often I'm scared of closing people, and it's like I try to drag it out, like I just like some limited belief. So I try to drag it out like the call is just like they want to buy from you, so just literally say the price and close
Yeah.
it, send them the contract, and boom, just close it on right on the call, and then you can get referrals like asking your network. So that was really helpful to close like warm leads.
I remember when he texted me and he was like he wanted advice on the sales call, and I just told him, just close the deal. They want to give you their money. Like, if you are confident you can deliver, or if you are confident that you can at least work through the process and deliver, through the process, just like, take the money. And so this is what we call assuming the sale, right? And I hope you remember when I was talking to you about it. Assume it's already closed, and on the call, don't talk. Just take their card and all right, boom, that's it. And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
how I remember he said, I have like they just deposited 6K in my in my bank account, and he was like, I didn't think it was going to be this easy. And I was like, oh yeah, man, it's really that easy, right? Sometimes a lot of sales reps do this, right, where they start talking and talking and trying
Yeah,
to
that's what I do.
drag it out because they feel, oh, if they didn't put enough time and effort into it, maybe it's not like maybe you didn't do a good job. That's how they think, right? And so what these sales reps tried to do is they would try to talk and drag it out. No, if the customer wants your service, they want to buy, you accept the money. And so this is how it would go, right? If I was on a sales call like this, I'd be like, hey, how's your day going, man? Awesome, cool. All right, so let's get started. Boom, right into the card. That's it. Because I know they're ready to pay.
Yeah,
All
and I
right.
think one thing I should say is like to do a sales call is like hop on sales call, right? Like I hop onto a parent sales call. I got sold on PU, right? I hop on like a lot of like different sales call, like just like see how I do, and especially the ones then you're like, bro, just shut up and take my money. Like that kind of like feeling, like try to replicate that feeling in you. Like you feel it yourself. So how do you replicate that to your own clients, and how do you make other people feel the same thing? So I'll say like just use your own product, right? Like use your own sales and try to figure out like how other people do sales and hop on a ton of sales call and learn from those people.
Yeah, sales is, in my opinion, one of the most important things because of this. If you can just learn how to accept money, you'll make money. That's it, right? And that's why
Yeah.
my favorite 9 to 5, if I were to ever live a parallel universe, a parallel life in a parallel universe, I would be a sales rep because I know I can close deals. And not just that, I know I can be a sales rep, work 9 to 5, and still have the gift of making the same amount of money, just like the CEO or the entrepreneur. You can with
Mm,
sales because it's commission
yeah.
based. How much you can make is capped to your skill level. And obviously there's other things in place. You can't just get someone on a call and like say, "Okay, here's what you have to pay," and expect them to magically pay. There's a lot of things you have to do beforehand. That's what we call pre-vetting, right? You pre-vet the lead first to make sure they qualify for your program. The worst thing you can do is have someone who is not going to get results, right? Like
Hmm.
the only reason why I worked with Koi is because I know Koi can get results. How do I know this? We asked him questions before we even started, right? Way before he had a call with our team to see if he qualified. We asked him questions, man. Hey, man, are you going to do this? Do you have the time? Like, do you really want this? Are you serious about it? Like, what if you fail? Like, what's your thoughts on that? Like, he had a positive entrepreneur mindset, right? And so it was easier for us to work with him. It was just a matter of what skills does he need right now in order to go to the next stage. And then from there, it's a process of just being an entrepreneur. You learn as you keep going.
Prodigy's University is literally the place that got me started and shattered my limiting belief. Because in there, it feels like a college course. So you have a ton of different variety of topics like sales, like tractions, like illusion funnels, like how to code, how to vibe code. Like you have everything in there. So it's more like a college kind of experience. So you can just like hop onto anything and can learn anything. So it's really helped me to get started to learn about anything, everything in general. And then when I got started on the journey that parent gave me, right? Like the first thing, like get the users, get the traction illusion funnel, and then like every step on the way, I was like, I don't really know how to do this. Like I just come back to Project University, watch a video, like, oh, I'm struggling about sales, I'm struggling about like vibe coding, or like I'm struggling about anything in the business. I just come back and they have like a library to for me to just dive into anything. So it's more like a college experience is really cool because I'll say I love college, right? So yeah.
Yeah, we even named the courses in a college way. So it's like SAS 101, SAS 201, SAS 320. We had like numbers for each of those courses so you can see the difficulty level and stuff. It's just a
Yeah.
funny mock, it's just a way to mock college, I guess, whatever. Just a quick word from our sponsors, Hostinger. Now, before you start, I don't want you to ever pay the full price. So please never pay the full price for Hostinger because in the description, I have left some links where you can get access to some of the best discounts, or you can simply use Web Prodigies at checkout to get an additional discount on top of the awesome Black Friday sale that they have right now. And if you're wondering, I myself use Hostinger on all my projects, right? And this is also my portal. You can take a look at webprodigies.com. It's hosted on Hostinger. And this Black Friday sale is 64% off. Now, I recommend using Hostinger VPS if you're getting started and this is your first SaaS. And the reason is because you're not going to get any sort of surprise bill, okay? So far, I've had a fabulous experience with them. Unlike other hosting providers, which is pay as you go, if you get DDoS, you got to pay for all of that consumption, right? And so when you go with a capped VPS, which also gives you the ability to scale, obviously, you essentially put yourself in a safer situation. I prefer to have peace of mind when it comes to hosting my SaaS, so I don't have to care about getting DDoSed or having this crazy $70,000, $80,000 bill that sometimes can happen. And another reason why I always use Hostinger is because I prefer to use my favorite OS panel. So I like using Coolify. I don't like using something else because Coolify gives me the ability to host multiple projects through the same server. Now, obviously, all of this depends on the bandwidth, the RAM, the CPUs, all this kind of stuff. But what I found is if you use the KVM2 plan, that essentially gets you the best value. So if you want a recommendation, I suggest you go with Hostinger VPS. GPS, get the KVM2 plan, so that way you can host multiple projects. This is just what I use for all of my projects and what I would recommend you do as well. All right, let's move on to the video now. So, what's a word of advice that you would give to another entrepreneur or another web developer who wants to start their SaaS? Where should they be looking into right now? Should it be coding? Should it be focusing on marketing, sales? What's your opinion? What's your take on that?
Oh, um, I say the coding, the technical part is often regarded as like a really hard one, right? Like most of the startups, they have three technical founders and one non-technical founder. However, right now, like as you guys have already heard and seen, right? Like AI is coding really, really fast. So then one technical founder can do basically the entire effort. So for example, my cousin, he works for a startup, and he's the only developer in that startup. And that startup have like millions of dollars, and he's the only developer to make the entire app for them. And it's insane, right? He just used AI. He knows how to code, and then he just used AI to code. Like he's the only developer. So I would say for technical co-founder, technical, I would say just have a really good, a killer technical person or even two, and then you can focus on the distribution and marketing, because right now, marketing I would say is pretty hard, really hard. Distribution is really hard for because it's so saturated. The problem is a lot of people can vibe code, and there's so many sloppy AI vibe coded apps that kind of barely worked, and with not a lot of like professionals kind of like actually working on the app, right? Just like vibe coded. And so I'd say like marketing is definitely something that's important as well. And know how to like what's the distribution, what's the UGC, what's the strategy to get the app out there. Honestly, I would say leaning to the distribution and marketing side more is important. But then you all need to have like a good technical co-founder that will back you up for whatever you building, right?
Thank you so much for taking the time, Koi. I'm sure the viewers who are watching this are going to learn a ton from you, the advice you've given, and they also look up to you because the reason why I think your story is unique is because you're a college student and you're still in college. Like you're still
Yes,
doing
sir.
your college stuff. And you are probably one of the youngest people we have ever had in PU who has taken action on every single thing that we have told, right? We told you to take action, start, find the idea, create the offer, launch the offer. We've told you all these things. And you're one of those people who actually took action and you got results. And not all the time, you're not always going to see results. You also had your fair share of failure. I'm sure you also,
Yeah.
some of the ideas didn't work, something didn't work. That this happens. This is
Yep.
just part of the game. But if you just start today, you'll be surprised how much better you'll be than 99% of the other people around you. Because most of them don't want to do it. Most of them give up. That's, in my opinion, that's how people fail at business. They just give up, right? And so it's the easiest thing to succeed in if you just have the one skill, which is consistency. Thanks a lot for watching. And if you have a story like this, or if you have a SaaS that you have started from our channel, if you're watched some of our videos and you've started some of our products, then go ahead and you can use a link in the description and send us a message, and maybe you'll have a chance to feature on this channel as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.